we're focusing on the number 80. So we're making a ratio table. On the left-hand side, we have the amount of 80 that we're looking at, some amount, like half of it or something. And then when we find that amount, we're going to get a number. So in the left-hand column, the amount of 80, and in the right-hand column, what's the number we're getting? So first of all, 50%. To find 50% of 80, I divide by 2, and I get 40. Next, we look at 0.5. Well, that's a half, which is 50%. So that also equals 40. Next, we have 25%. Well, that has to be half of 50%, or 20. And then we have 0.25. Well, that's 25 out of 100, or 1/4, or 25%. So that's the same thing. Notice we're pairing these up so far, percents and decimals. So next we have 12.5%. Well, that's just half of 25%, right? 2 12.5% gives me 25%. 2 12.5 gives me 25, and that's 10. So now they give us this decimal. Well, if I just had 0.12, that would be 12 hundredths, 12 out of 100, like 12%. So 125, like this, is the same thing as 12.5%, and it's 10. And you can tell because it's also half of 0.25, right? If I had 0.125 twice, I get 0.25 or 25%. So there's definitely a connection right there. And last we have 37 and 1/2%, which seems very unfriendly, but if we add up 25% and 12.5%, we do get 37 and 1/2. So really the answer here is just 30. Then they give us this decimal. Sorry, 0.375. Well, so far all the decimal pairs have been paired with their equal percents, and you can almost see 37.5 in this decimal, right? 37.5, or 37 out of 100 and a half, right? So 37.5%. So we know they're equal, but if we're feeling unsure, we could just add 0.25 and 0.125 to confirm that it does equal 0.375. And what that means, what that tells us, of course, is if 0.25 and 0.125 both equal these 2%, and these two decimals equal them, if we add them up and get 0.375, well, that means that these two decimals added together equals this decimal, which we can then say, oh, well, these are equal to the percents, so this is also equal to this percent. Why? Well, because this is also equal to these, the sum of these 2%. It's kind of going all over the place there. That's using the transitive property. Basically, if these two decimals add up to this decimal, and those are all equal, and these 2% add to this percent, and these decimals are equal to those percents, well, then this decimal has to be equal to that percent. It's just a way of looking at equivalence. It's intuitive and doesn't require much calculation. And I like this string because it gets at 37.5%, which always looks unfriendly, but in fact it's just a combination of 25% and half of 25%. So always look for ways to use landmark percents.